Coach Erik Cassidy from Bridgeton Track. Wanted to finish up talking a little bit about track and the Meet of Champions here. Coach, welcome to the show. Thanks for taking a few minutes out.
Thanks for having me.
All right, no problem. Give us a little bit of rundown of the Meet of Champions. A great story out of your school, Marquise Bell, winning the high jump. And I saw the height, 6'10". I almost, my jaw dropped to the floor. That's an amazing height for a high school kid.
Absolutely. And what's the crazy part is he's only a sophomore. And going that long bus ride, he came up to me about half hour before we got there and said, "Coach, I'm going to win this today." And I told him, I said, it's crazy for a sophomore to have that much confidence, and that's what he has. And I told him, I said, "You're going to have to jump at least 6'8". And he got to 6'8", and when he got to 6'10", on his first attempt, it's pretty impressive for a sophomore.
Yeah, he was probably like, "Hey, 6'8", no problem, Coach," right?
Yeah. I mean, I coached 3 sports, and he's by far the best overall athlete I've ever coached, and he's only a sophomore.
Wow.
So to his credit, I mean, he's just going to get bigger and stronger, and the sky's the limit for him. He's a great kid. He's got his grades right, and the future's going to be bright for him.
Outstanding. What did you think of him, maybe early in the season, mid-season? Did you think he had a chance to go this far?
Well, last year he was a state champion as a freshman, and he finished in number 6 at the Meet of Champions last year. And coming in, he had a bullseye on his back a little bit. People knew who he was, and he struggled a little bit. We fixed his steps closer to the where we wanted to be, and he really started to blossom towards the end of this season and just getting better and better. And in track, that's what you want. You really want the kid to start blossoming towards the end of the year, and he really did a great job with that. Right.
Talking to Erik Cassidy here from Bridgeton High School Boys Track. Coach, a lot of people don't really know the nuances of track. Is this a kid who really studies the sport, or does he just kind of rely on his athletic ability and is still kind of learning the technique of high jumping?
A little bit of both. Like I said before, he's a great athlete. He's a 3-sport athlete, so it's tough sometimes to get out there when he's the star quarterback for the football team. He's going to be the face of the basketball team next year.
Right.
And so he's got a lot of athletic ability, but he works. I mean, every day he's out there. This year he did 4 events, so he really couldn't concentrate on the high jump as much as he wanted to until towards the end of the year. So I had him in long jump, he was in the triple jump, and also jab. So he's a 4-sport or 4 track event athlete. So it's pretty impressive on his part.
Yeah, you mentioned that doing all those events, a lot of these guys who win state titles, overall Meet of Champions titles, they're sort of event specific. How impressive is that for a kid who's kind of been doing 4 or 5 different things throughout the year to really set himself apart in one event towards the end of the season? It's got to be a great accomplishment.
Yeah, it's really impressive. The funny thing is that we needed a triple jumper in one of our meets this year, and I asked him, I said, "Oh, you think he can do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, no problem," without even any hesitation, and he goes out there and jumps a 42 in a triple, which is pretty impressive for a kid that's never done it before. So he's one of those kids that can pick up anything and be really good at it.
Yeah, it's got to be great to coach a kid like that because you can keep kind of pushing his limits and seeing what he can do because he has that athletic ability to even have the confidence to try it, right?
Absolutely. Anything I ask him to do, he does. He doesn't hesitate at all. It's just he's a great kid. He's got great character, and like I said before, the sky's the limit for him. He just turned 16 years old, and he's a Meet of Champions winner as a sophomore. So his goal is to win it the next 2 years, and I think he's going to do it.
Must be nice to be 16 and be able to do whatever you want on an athletic field, right?
Absolutely, and now he turns right from track, and he's already concentrated on football. He's a great football player, and he's just going to keep getting better and better. Yeah,
it's going to be great to see what that football team can do. They had some real big wins last year. Talk a little bit about Quashim Taylor, who finished second in the long jump. What's the story behind this kid?
We call him Mo. He's another one. Great kid. Won the state title. He was getting better towards the end of the year, jumping 23 feet. So at the Meet of Champions, he was in the lead coming to the last jumper, and then it was him, and the last jumper hit 23.4 and was up by 2 inches, and Quashim hit a 23.1 at the end, and he lost by 2.5 inches. So in track, it's unbelievable. That little mark of error is just unreal. But coming in second in the Meet of Champions and win a state title, I told him it's not a shabby career on his part. He's a senior, and we're going to miss him on the track team, but he's going to do great things.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about the team in general? I mean, you guys have had a real solid program there for a couple of years. What do you expect in the next couple of years? You're going to really rely on Bell, I guess, to kind of lead the way and get you back to these state championship type of events.
Yeah, I mean, we're really young. We only lose 2 seniors. We have a couple kids that are going to step up. Ravel Williams is a freshman. Deshaun Baldwin will be a senior. He's another one, 4 events. The triple jumps is his strong point, but the one thing I love about the team is they have high character. And for a team that wasn't really senior loaded, we relied on sophomores like Bell and juniors like Baldwin to be leaders on the team, and they really did a great job with that.
How satisfying is that for you as a coach, not only to see these guys do so well in the Meet of Champions, but also to know that, you know, they're getting it done in the classroom, they're turning into quality young men? I mean, that's got to be a great feeling as a coach to have both the success on the track as well as off the track.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I always tell the kids, it's student athlete, you're a student first, and if you can't get the grades right and get your GPA and SAT scores where they need to be, you can be the best track person in the world, but you're not going to get into school. So we have study hall. Our AD, Cindy Wilkes, does a great job with that, set us up with study hall. They do their work there, and they come out on the track and perform as well. But it's definitely student first and athlete second, and they're really buying into that.
All right, Coach, we're up against the end of the show here, but I wanted to thank you for taking a few minutes to come on with us and then tell us about the great athletes you got down there at Bridgeton. So great job this season, and appreciate you coming on board.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks, Coach. That was Coach Erik Cassidy from Bridgeton Track.